Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. It seems that just about half of Scotland think Humza Yousaf is doing a bad job. I'm surprised it's only half. Massively surprised. However, it is even worse for him when you look at the breakdown at what all the different aspects of this is made up of, because it just seems that in every single aspect of his leadership, and I use the leadership quite loosely there, he fails at every single one, with more people thinking he's doing a bad job than a good job. I still can't get over that it's only half. On the other hand, how many people are asked how he's doing a good job? It's not half. There's a lot of people in the middle that just don't know or don't care. So it is predominantly a pretty bad result either way. Anyway, we'll take a look at this and see what it is, because Friday was his 100th day in office. His 100 days of hell, as we're calling it. And things aren't likely to get any better anytime soon. As I say, lost another MP today and may lose another one in the next few days. Oh dear, how sad. Here goes. So half of Scots thinks Humza Yousaf is doing a bad job as the First Minister. Now I like this article because they got a picture of him here, and look at his little fingers. He's been daubing with paint. And I've got to say that that's about as much as he should be allowed to do. I think we've found his limit. It's just take him into Holyrood, sit him in a little office, give him lots of paper, some finger paints, and let him just play all day doing, whatever little daubs he likes. And that way, he's happy, he's entertained, he's doing no harm. And generally, if he keeps out the way of Scotland and its policies that way, the country has a chance of improving. So maybe we have found something he is good at, finally. Possibly. Wouldn't guarantee it. Anyway, half of Scots believe First Minister Humza Yousaf is doing a bad job, according to a stark new poll. A YouGov study of 1,100 Scots between 26th and 29th of June shows 50% viewed the First Minister as having done a bad job since taking the office. Yousaf marked 100 days in the job on Friday. I did the video on Friday calling it the 100 Days of Hell, if you remember. The poll comes despite SNP Westminster leader Stephen Beryl Flynn insisting yesterday that Mr Yousaf is doing a brilliant job. But Beryl lives in an alternative universe and has no bearing on reality. Speaking on Sky's Sunday with Sophie Ridge, Flynn added, "It's been a bit of a challenge for the party, to say the least." I'd imagine. Imagine having Humza Yousaf as leader. That's going to be challenging for anyone, isn't it? He said, "We've had difficulties internally, and still are, and will continue to have. But I think Humza's come into it, and what he has done is put the cost of living crisis front and centre. That's the one thing he hasn't done. He's continued to wank money away, hundreds of thousands here, hundreds of thousands there, on independence, publishing new guidelines for independence there, pushing this. He's spending 2 million a year on independence with the staff and the new minister. He's wanking 60 million a year, or 80 odd million a year rather, on spin doctors in the NHS. So he's hardly putting the cost of living crisis first and foremost. Indeed, he's not addressed it whatsoever. Flynn lives in a world of make-believe. He really does. Anyway, the study reveals that just 23% endorsed his time in office so far. So 50% against and less than a quarter pro. So that's more than 2 to 1. That is some ratio. And when you consider that is a lower percentage than SNP voters, it means a lot of SNP voters don't think he's doing a good job. And that's telling. Anyway, a previous poll conducted in April found 19% of people thought Mr Yousaf was doing well, and 44% believed the opposite, although his tenure was just weeks old when the poll was conducted. The First Minister boasted a slightly better rating than Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, with 22% of Scots saying he was doing a good job leading the UK government, compared to 59% who are doing a bad job. I know that there's many Tories who say he's doing a bad job, so I'm surprised it's only 59% in Scotland. I would have thought that had been up nearer the 70s. On favourability, 28 had a favourable view of the First Minister, while 51 had an unfavourable view. It's kind of going in one direction here, isn't it? Those polled were also given 6 topics and asked to evaluate Mr Yousaf's performance, including on the cost of living, where just 15% believed he'd done well, compared to 60% thinking he'd done badly. I'm surprised it's only 60%. He has done nothing. He is focused purely on independence. He's doing nothing about anything. On the ongoing investigation into the SNP's finances, 22% of respondents believed Mr Yousaf was doing a good job and 48% believed otherwise. Again, a 2-to-1 ratio. I mean, it's 4-to-1 on the other one. Cost of living, it's 4-to-1, good to bad. That is terrible, isn't it? Anyway, in terms of stewardship of the economy, 17% approved, 55% did not. That's 3-to-1 against. It is bad, isn't it? Elsewhere, 18% believed he'd done a good job on healthcare, 56% not. 3-to-1 ratio. And 20% his administration were handling climate change, compared to 44% who believed otherwise. So 2-to-1 against on climate change. And finally, on Scottish independence, 18% believed he'd handled the issue well and 50% not. Again, 3-to-1 ratio. He is being ratioed to hell on every single aspect. The man has got no chance. Even his own party now, even his own SMPs and MPs know they are screwed because he is such a liability. That's why so many are fleeing Parliament at Westminster. That's why they're all going, I'm not standing, I'm not doing it. He's destroyed us, he's killed us, we're so down in the polls, it's not even worth it. And they're all going. And as for the MSPs up in Holyrood, I mean, half of them there, they go. There's going to be the backbenchers are sitting there every time he gets up and talks, and they're sitting there going, oh, please don't talk, please don't talk, please shut up, please don't talk, you're making matters worse. They must be like that. They absolutely must be. Every time he opens his mouth, he makes things worse. But hey, you voted for him. You made him leader. You're an idiot. Anyway, the poll also suggested that support for independence had fallen back since the previous poll in April, with 37 saying they would back separation, down from 39. So, going backwards. Those who would vote no in a future referendum also increased to 46, while 6% of respondents said they would not vote, 9% responded that they did not know how they would vote, and 2% refused to answer the question. But it's quite clear that even if they were given their referendum tomorrow, it would be a no vote, and that would be it. A spokesman for the First Minister said recent polling had showed the SNP remains the most popular party in Scotland. Is that the only spin you've got? Which reflects the record delivery of this new Scottish government. It may be the most popular Scotland in Scotland, most popular party in Scotland, but it's going downhill. It's going downhill fast, and I tell you, it won't be long. And in the next election, you'll see exactly how popular you are. Indeed, while the SNP remain in the lead, surveys in recent months have shown the gap to be reducing. The spokesman added, in his first 100 days, Humza Yousaf defined the core missions of administration. Equality failed, opportunity failed, community failed, and introduced substantial measures to help achieve these aims, and failed. He hasn't done anything. Everything that's happened since this Parliament has begun has all been Greens. None of it's been SNP policy. It's all been Greens and they've all failed. What on earth has he done in the last 100 days? He's gone, oh, can we have independence? No. Okay. Can we have independence again? No. Okay. How about now? No. Okay. That's all he's done, because that's all he knows. He hasn't got a clear thought in his head. His first action as minister was to triple the funding to help households most vulnerable to fuel poverty, and more than 300,000 families are benefiting from our game-changing Scottish Child Payment, which was unique in the UK, and which, because of that payment, means you cannot pay your bills elsewhere. He says, we've launched a new 10-year cancer strategy. You've got a 10-year cancer wait. Is that the 10-year strategy? Just let people wait long enough till they die, and then, hey, we don't have a cancer problem anymore. Just last week, the First Minister announced the biggest pay uplift since devolution for senior medical and dental staff. Yes, because he was scared they're going to go on strike. It wasn't him, giving it. It was them taking it. Let's be clear on that one. and work to reset relationship with businesses and local government is well underway. That relationship that was broken by the SNP and their treatment of businesses, especially by the hiking of business rates beyond any form of affordability. So they're absolutely spinning everything, and it is all complete BS. Scottish Labour Deputy Leader Jackie Baillie said the First Minister had somehow managed to fall short of the low expectations we had of him. Yes, he set a low bar and then failed to reach it. He is an absolute serial failure, and it's been reflected in the polls, and it will be reflected in the only poll that matters, the elections. And then they'll force him out. You know, they'll say, no, you're absolutely toxic. You are a liability. It's time to go. Bye. Anyway, I shall round off here. I shall come up and we shall finish the video. Oh, what a terrible thing it must be to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and see Humza Yousaf looking back at you and knowing that you're not just a failure, that over half the country think you're a failure, but that many members of your own party think you're a failure. And you watch as all the MPs in Westminster quit because they know they can't win ever since you've taken over. Do you not get it? Do you not sit there and think, really, I'm maybe not very good at this job. Maybe I should go back and find something more suitable to do and let someone else take over, someone who's got half a brain. Who knows? Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And really helps the channel, helps us grow. It also gets the message out there because all the algorithm relies upon it. And also hit the like. That massively helps. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, Humza Yousaf, finger daubing is about as much as we expect. It's how he defines policy, isn't it? Bye.